Blessings, welcome forward to Reasonings Right Here at the Tree of Life. I'm your host, the Great Owl, in the presence of my co-host, the blessed brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love. Perfect love. So brother Singh, we started a particular series, and we're talking about, some of the real curses of the flesh, sins of the flesh, fruits of the flesh, the things which promotes negativity, the things which the world seems to get its strength from, because gifts of the Spirit, fruits of the Spirit seem to be what the followers of Christ and the righteous, grow from, live by. So the ways of the Spirit is far different from the ways of the flesh. He was born of flesh is flesh, and he was born of spirit is spirit. So we seek toward the spiritual purity. And we approach it religiously, but also biologically as well, and psychologically. So the next topic along our reasoning is fornication. Now, fornication is such a complex terminology because I think it's probably only mentioned in Christian circles. Yeah, and it is in the Bible, right? But not that what it alludes to isn't in the other religious texts. I think the way it's worded as fornication, I think I should go and do the etymology of the fornication, but as how it is presented in the English diction to us. But the underlying principle of fornication is, I guess, it's illicit sex. Sex without commitment, especially within the sense of a committed relationship or a marriage, right? The dichotomy is, it is a loose moral as male or female. A loose moral in sexual behavior. So we can put it in all the terminologies, right? Because literally, if somebody's calling you a fornicator, in the strictly religious term, it's sex out of marriage, right? Because that is demonized in Christianity and seen as not a healthy situation, because again, why? Because it doesn't purport to give a healthy structure for family, which the Lord wants families. His presence is in families. Hallelujah. So his nature is family. So anything that goes against the procurement of right families is against God, really. So when it relates to fornication in the broader context, it's some freaky ass, uncaring sexual encounters that's replicable and becomes behavioral, becomes like second nature. So people sleeping around and there is absolutely no commitment to none of those engagements, and it's become cultural. That it's accepted because people are saying, I'm adventurous, I've been through layers of those experiences, so I can tell you that a lot of women are hypergamous, right? They're very adventurous, right? And men are, very polygamous sometimes in nature. Well, some would say by nature, right? So wanting as many sexual encounters, but really, as again we say, polygamy really means having a structure of several wives. Wives, even if the Western structure legally doesn't acknowledge wives, but it's wives within the structure. So it's still not saying go bang everybody, to use the word term, right? It's still saying there has to be some amount of understanding and commitment. Well, in that case it would be monogamy, but some amount of commitment within the sexual encounter and behavior. And so within monogamy now, right, if you're committed, you shouldn't be going and sleeping with every woman you see, or every man you see as a woman. Or the crazy experiences that people go seeking after, one night stands, or a sexual encounter that is risque, and it's there in the psychological, hallelujah, literature, that a lot of, and I know the men is always talked about in this area because they seem to be predatory, but a lot of women are also predatory and go seeking out unique sexual experience through the hypergamous nature that they carry. And so this has stained the cultural heritage and also the spiritual and religious heritage for a lot of young girls who is being inspired by a culture which is showing a woman even being with multiple sex partners as much as the man is with multiple sex partners, brother Singh.
Yes, brother Great Owl. Man, God. In the ancient days, as we would say, Bible times, condom never exists. And that's. So usually, when you have an encounter, a baby might occur You know? That's why the most I say, when you and a woman decide to
Hallelujah.
make that next step, you have to become one flesh. And you have to leave your parents. You have to leave your father and mother. And you have to become one with that person.
Yes.
So the most I said it to them. Because I say, a family I build now.
Yes.
Because condom never exists. You know? Unless you have to catch them on the right day.
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
And
yes.
say, what I said, it's an ovulator or something.
Yeah, most likely for impregnation. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to catch them right.
Yes.
For not get pregnant.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But other than that, most of the time, them will get pregnant. Baby will come. I say, who is the father? Father have to take responsibility. Because the father of that daughter, you know, or that family, I'm going to make sure so that father responsible and do what I have to do.
Do what is right.
Because usually a man would have to go to the people, parents, and request the daughter and offer up money and whole heap of things, you know. See 5 cow,
True.
3 goat,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And, you know, couple, them court for a while, you know.
True. Our family approach family for the children.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah, so things used to more strict,
Yes.
discipline.
Structured for you modern people.
Yeah, and an ancient thing, you know.
Yes.
But what now? Modern day, we have condom. You go Mr. Chin, go buy a pack of condom. You can have, you get 3 in the pack.
Yes. Hey.
And you can go 3 times for the night with her. You know? I saw nowadays, last days.
Yes.
The last days, so shall it be in the last days as it was as the days of Noah.
Yes. When the sins go through the roof, right?
You know?
Sins
Same
happen,
Sodom and Gomorrah vibes. You know? You're not going to find a virgin so easily nowadays. Because when we're there in high school, you know, you'd come like you get star up on your shoulder. If you say, yeah man, you have intercourse with that one last night. You know? Man, them say, what? You know? And the more you have, and the bigger boss you will see.
Yes.
You see him
Yes.
as.
More status.
Yeah? Because your brethren them will say, man, the man here mash down 3 females for that week, yeah. And him probably never mash down 1 yet.
Yes.
So you see him like the big boss.
Yes. The lascivious lifestyle seem more like stuff is happening more for you. You see more of a man.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the idea that you know seem like a man. If you can't get a girl. You know, like more times when I say, get that girl.
Yes. As a deer.
Yeah.
Enjoyment, yeah.
You want to see if you're a man, if
Yes.
you're a boss, was
Yes.
they say you're a boss.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
see say you're a boss then.
Yes.
Go get that girl there.
Yes.
And then you have to go over there, go get the girl and
Yes.
show them, say, yeah, see it there.
Yeah.
And right now she have some sister.
Yes.
I'm going to give them sister there.
Or
You
some
see me?
cousins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you have to show them, say, you are the boss.
Yes.
Because when me are growing in high school, you know, and them antics they go on.
Yes.
You know, me have girlfriend for Monday, girlfriend for Tuesday,
Yes.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then weekend girlfriend are the main girlfriend that.
It's like it's a party week of
Yeah,
women.
and every girl
Yes.
knows that them on Monday.
Yes.
Me on Tuesday.
Yes.
Me out, literally them
Yes.
show up, you know.
Yes, I understand, man.
And I say, today a Wednesday, you know.
Yes.
My day, you know.
Yeah.
My time.
Yes. There was a
Me
fight.
can't talk to no other girl.
Yes, but that
What?
day. I understand.
And them level of status you have to bring yourself
Yes.
with the peer pressure.
Yes, it's serious, man.
And you feel good, you feel like king
Of
when
course.
you do that.
Of course.
Because nobody else now have a
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yes.
Thursday, you know?
Yes.
Friday and weekend, you know? Them not have that. Janu.
I used to say, you call them a day at a week. I usually call them the flavor of the month.
True.
So my friends say, you always have a new flavor of the month. So I would say to the girls, form a line. So as you would say, each one for each day, I told them to form a line. So I say, in order of how you approach me, in order how you met me, that's how you get served, right? So if I meet a new girl and she's feeling all special, it was big in ego, but it drew a lot of attention and got me a lot of sexual activity and engagement because I said, join the line. You understand me? Because essentially, hey, I knew I had enough to substantiate saying to her, join the line. Because if she tries to push ahead to engage with me, then literally the women who are ahead of her is going to start to literally, hallelujah, harass her and put her in her place. And in some cases, we also use it to determine the idea of the alpha female. You call her the weekend girl is the real girl, but I didn't come out of that. I came out of who's the alpha female. And to this day, I shouldn't say it. Anyway, I probably have said it before. I always said I like strong and assertive women. I don't mean crazy women. I mean women that know themselves and can stand up for themselves, even if their voice is faint. So what came out of that engagement for me, not praising her or anything, is that I appreciated the woman, the young lady that could basically define herself beyond all of the other women. That she not only stood out in terms of her appearance, but in terms of her presence and how she connected to me. And so out of that kind of a fornication experience explosion, I grew to know the one that I love, the one that I have most feelings for. So I am no longer just drawn to the sea of unassuming, unaware women. I am specifically drawn in truthfulness to a woman that is self-defined and stands out above the waves, the crowds, and the conjecture. And that came through my experience of saying, wait your turn. And the woman who would stand up most strongest to assert, because I believed in polygamy. So that would be the first wife, the main wife. So I call her the center of the core, right? She's the magnetic center. She puts all other women into, hallelujah, their alignment. Without her, there isn't a relationship, and a relationship cannot be maintained. No, that is not transposed into a monogamous view fully, because the truth is that level of commitment with one person is most unique, not just because you think it's special, because it comes back to self-identity and sense of being, meaning when you found your other half, not the metaphysical, mythological, soulmate, ideology, twin flame, opinions on it, but literally, when you find that person that is literally you, your balance, your opposite, so you literally, if you are together, you are one, then that is you. That is the greatest sexual and emotional experience. That comes through monogamy, through commitment, and through that towards marriage, right? So, and a family born in love. So a sexual encounter that is popularized in modern culture to say, test all the waters. With each sexual encounter, man and woman have, not just man, not just woman, it creates a tiny bond with each other person they sleep with. We sleep with, so we create a bond. So usually when we come to spiritual awakening through, when a person is saved, it usually means that you have to cleanse yourself, hallelujah, through Christ, through the grace of the Most High, of the sexual alignments. Sometimes we call them soul ties in some regard, because that's an extremity of it. But there are other levels that are not just soul tie, meaning there's levels of uncleanliness that would have come because you got so much different auras mixed within such an intimate emotional field that it affects bonds. And especially in, I say it's male and female, it's non-gender descript, but in females there tend to be a slight differential that it seems to really annihilate the possibility of a true bond in sexual marriage and relationship more than with the males a bit, because it seems that it's harder for them to commit. They challenge their partners more, they are less submissive, and so hence we have a culture now that promotes their idea of self-choice in the essence of, not saying that it's a feminist idea, but in a sense of saying, I can use my body however I choose, whenever I choose. I'm not recognizing the sanctity or the sacredness of sexual and emotional bond, which is nature. God made us this way. So this is what fornication truly disturbs, right? The fact that sex is sacred. And even if it seems, what do you call it, cliche, gushy, mushy, it's actually the truth. And the more you can preserve that auric feel and actualize it with one person that knows you, trusts you, loves you, cares for you, is the highest magnetic reaction you will get out of the sexual experience, Brother Singh.
Yes, sir. As you said, it's sacred, man, and holy and magnificent. Because when you join together under the right circumstances, you're going to create a life that look like the two of you. It's a very spiritual experience. Physical, emotional, sensual, it's an experience.
Hallelujah.
What create life out of that experience.
Hallelujah.
I just through modern day with the condom, we just a dash for the life.
Yes,
we just
really.
dash it, just to enjoy the pleasure. Because the pleasure nice. It's a pleasure reality. People love the pleasure. Pleasure feel good. Want to feel good, Orgasm. Feel good. Pleasure, So, we have to preserve ourselves. If you're single, looking for that special someone, the person who the most I make for you and you for them. Preserve yourself. Wait until marriage. After you married, you can have sex from morning till night, till you're tired of it. You see me?
Yes, absolutely.
Till you turn so experienced and, whatever. You got tired of it.
Yeah.
But as in, you have to enjoy it, But may I say, when you're married, you're not going to have no shortage of it.
Yes.
It's going to go dead. And then, honeymoon stage.
Yes.
And honeymoon stage, you're not going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you even wait until marriage, it's going to even nicer. Because even before marriage, it's like you don't want to get tired.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, because when you're married, imagine you're married for all 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years of all of the sex you want in the world.
With the person you want. I think that's the most important.
And you tell them, say you like it like this and do that. And once it's righteous. No extra freaky, nothing,
Yes.
Because you have something now, the uncleanly.
Nice.
People are mess with people in us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there on them thing there. That's wrong. What that have to do with nothing.
Natural loving is the way to go.
That a exit only.
Mm-hmm.
You see me?
Mm-hmm.
Exit of nastiness.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need for them nowhere near that,
Mm-hmm.
That's alright.
Mm-hmm.
Why people are do them nasty things?
Mm-hmm.
Because what the world and why that teach them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because them are learn about sex through these porn sites, And these porn sites are show them all these disgusting things that not necessary.
Absolutely not.
And it's of the devil. So when them have sex, them think them have to do these nasty acts to have true pleasure.
Brother Singh, that was a really good point you made, because we did a video, sex, not porn, porn, not sex, right? The essence of it is that if people are thinking sexual encounters are really, this pornographic experience we're being shown, well, obviously it influenced them in a certain way to try things, which again leads to the uncleanliness, but obviously feeds the fornication based upon the fact that there's a belief that the more sex you have, the more pleasure you gain. I say it's an emptiness of spirit to want to have so much sex. Not to have so much sex now, but to want. It's a want of things that creates the problem. So I code that in my therapy as sexual addiction. Now, sexual addiction is very important in understanding fornication. If we are being sexualized from little children, by pedophiles and people who get pleasure from seeing children being sexualized so they can sell products and services to them that are marketable to adults only as an economic means to increase themselves and also to create a market for the future of perversion, right? A porn market born in the little things we see in fashion, on the social media platforms. It all feeds into over-sexualization. So that's where it comes from, you know. The over-sexualization is essentially what fornication is, because it removes the sacredness of sex, because it no longer is talking about the biological right, which is male and female penis, vagina. It's talking about the act of sex and sexuality, which means behaviors around sex, which aren't just about traditional sex. This is important because when this culture has become placated everywhere, even individuals who are traditional, and you might not agree with me, believes that having sex 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day is actually healthy, and they write treatises about such things, and they're very vocal about such things. And I'm telling you, the amount of blood loss, the amount of stress you put your body through, over-sexing is an addiction. Hear me out. If you're in a committed relationship, vibrationally, you resonate on a high frequency. And hear me out. The sexual aura that is temporary is like those vibrational states that are high. So that's why people are constantly trying to gain these vibrational states through sex. But you can achieve them through the right spirituality by being clean and vibrating, hallelujah, on your right frequency. Love magnetizes the auric fields. It makes you exciting, excitable, and translatable. She just gets crazy being in your presence. She is bursting like flowers, releasing scents that's filling the air with oh so soul-filling divine stirrings. Believe me when I tell you, it's higher than a touch. That when you should touch on the right alignment, just like we say 9 is a higher magnetic frequency than 1. It means that if you build up to the highest point of sexual relation, man and woman, you get the highest vibrational, spiritual outcome. That is not just your children, but it is healthy and healing, not because of the repetition, but because of the level of harmony, vibrationally, spiritually, religiously, you are able to achieve in love. That's why. That's actually why. So, it's not the overly done, it's the rightly done, lovingly done, loving intercourse is true marriage. It is true, hallelujah, commitment. That is why you mustn't siphon it off into many vessels, because you'll lose the sacredness and the sanctity of the commitment. The vibrational fields go down, and like an addict, you keep going for more and more of the short-term fill to satisfy that long-term frequency that you ought to be on. Check it, dig it. What does that
Just imagine the consequences if you never use a condom. You know, imagine having sex, not using a condom.
Exactly. Hallelujah.
That's how it used to be, you know. But you can't even imagine right now.
Don't trust them. Don't.
It even seems strange. It seems far-fetched. Condom not in our reality right now. Because if that was out, you know, it's a total different world, this, you know.
True.
That will show you just the invention of one little item. Because you know, anytime we mention sex, we mention condom. Because I realize that this little item, changed the world so much. And we not even realize the impact.
Along with contraception.
Yes,
Those are the two things that change the world. One for the male, one for the female.
True.
That took away the power of nature to have an outcome on the sexual experience, because nature was the prime arbiter by God's creation on the sexual experience. Now the prime arbiter becomes human choice, pro this, pro that. I can choose for myself, I can do whatever I want with my body, it's mine. It no longer belongs to nature, it no longer belongs to God. It no longer belongs to nature, it no longer belongs to God. It now becomes a personal possession that you deem you do it as you will. But the essence is this desensitization of actuality by removing the spiritual and emotional consequence of the sexual act. Is contraceptive in terms of the pills and the different formulas, and the condom for the man, which is a form of contraceptive. You know, man just don't like that word being mentioned to us. It's very feminine to us. But that's what it is, right? It's unfortunate, but it really, as you said, has changed the culture. I think it's why fornication has been so powerful, because, as I said, it kind of make people think that it negates the consequences of such activity. Because if they had a child every time they went outside of their commitment, they wouldn't be thinking. You know, if he had, well, for the man, he might think it's a joy, but for the woman, according to our culture sets it, it puts her down. But literally for the man, what it does is reduces his vibrational strength in his sacral, right? Because the more sex partner, we know that what we call, you know, the cancer, you know, that comes because of, you know, over-sexing. You know, people don't really want to associate it, right, with that. But a lot of men have that cancer that basically is because, you know, he's been sexing too long, right? And he's basically wrecked himself because of his behavior, right?
True. And
so a lot of men think that, again, many sexual partners is a pro to him, right? Till him end up. I don't know, for some reason they're trying to block what cancer it is. But the man know the cancer you suffer down on your private parts, right? Yeah, that cancer, right?
Prostate.
Prostate cancer, right? It has a lot to do with over-sexing. And they don't want to say that. They're telling you it's habits in terms of eating. But prostate cancer is connected to our sexual habits as male, because there is a constant flow of blood that goes from the scrotums into the genital, that over time these muscles become strained, swollen because of overuse, misuse. You understand me? Again, it's like anything you use too much creates an addiction, and in the biological it creates a mutation. Like a cancerous cell, it creates a mutation. Urinary tract infections in women, and also man having weak bladders, is connected to lasciviousness, or the fornication, what we call the yeast infections, things like these. Though they say, oh, it's because of going into sleeping with a certain type of man. No, it's sleeping with many different partners that changes the pH of the vagina. That's what causes the yeast infection, because of all these penis with different pH, different vibrations, right? So just like that, the male and the female suffer because of over-sexing, because of the culture that is telling them, oh, you can negate consequences, right? Because if you're doing it with 50 different people, you're low vibration. You're not going to be able to bond with 50 people. That's why it's better when you're with one person and committed. And that is why fornication is not just a religious or psychological wrong. It's actually an unhealthy, hallelujah, way of life. Anything else you want to say, Brother Singh, before we wrap up this one?
Yeah, man, and live holy before the Most High, you know? Live righteous. Because even the same thought world, don't lust after females in your mind. the most I did I see what go on, you know? I think all sort of unclean thoughts and I dwell upon them. Love those things alone.
Absolutely.
You know? Cut it out. Once a thought like that come, just say no to it. You know? Tell the devil, say, get thee behind me. I don't want that thought. You know? And think better thoughts.
Absolutely. So rebuke the devil who manifests through the sexual mishabits of fornication and lead to some healthy behavior. Start the process of, examining your behaviors, question your thoughts, question your belief, question the beliefs around you, and making it so easy to give it up and just judging people based upon their ability to give it up and not to give it up. But really and truly look at the consequences of these actions, how people are void of true love and true emotions in something that is so beautiful and loving, created by God. So until next time, this has been the Great Owl Reasonings right here at the True Life with my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh. Just reminding you to be very clean in your sexual encounters. Like, share, subscribe to Seala Media Experience, the True Life Experience right here on Seala Media. Continue to support our Patreon, all the mini healing therapy sessions on wizio.com/True Life Television Network with yours truly. And just keep supporting our videos, the ministry business, and look out for that notification. Share the channel with a friend. Yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Perfect love. Perfect love. All right.